With the 5th pick in the 1993 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Isaiah J.R. Rider from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yo, what's poppin', man? I want to introduce y'all, man, to a new episode of the Era Podcast, Dope Era Podcast, man, where I go out and we talk about real stories, real life, real things. And this is about brothers and friends coming together and just sitting down and chopping it, man. So this podcast is not just like a regular podcast. It's actually called the Oddcast podcast, because we don't do things in a traditional way, man. We just talk about what's going on. Today, I have somebody who I grew up not only idolizing, but who I grew up wanting to be like, wanting to play like. Even when I was young, they used to say I looked like. So I think I lied a few times, like, oh yeah, man, that's my cousin. You know what I'm talking about? But I got my big brother, man, J.R. Ryder, man.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, baby?
Love and respect, Fab. Yeah, love you, boy.
Ryder.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Them dark skin with the nice smile and pretty teeth, you know what I mean? They love that, man.
Ryder,
I appreciate you.
I swear I wish I could find this picture, man. I was about 11 years old, man. You took a picture with me, man, and signed it. My mama had got it done, and I was like, man, I told everybody at school, man, you know that's my cousin.
Yes, sir.
That's my cousin. It's my mama nephew.
Yes, sir.
But, Jay, what's up, man?
Everything good, baby.
Jay, you look real good, Jay.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, family.
I want to start off with that, man.
I got a birthday in 2 days, too, man. I'm going to be 49, man.
Jay,
you know, imagine
49?
That.
Imagine
49er, bro.
Ooh.
I know.
Jay,
I embrace it. I love it, though.
Man, the game is like, we were just talking about some things, man, and I recently just took a trip to Egypt, Jay, and we was in Egypt, and I had a great time, but the significance of me mentioning that is, inside of the tombs, I watched a transformation of generations, and I watched a transformation of transition of power. What I mean by that is, they were trying to change the coloring of the people on the walls.
Definitely.
And they were repainting and rewriting history, and they were making the images much lighter. They were making it look like the early Egyptians were Arabs or some types of whites. And in my mind, fast forwarding to what I'm saying, it's there are people that will try to write us out of history. When I think of J.R. Ryder and I think of everything that you've done for the city of Oakland, for everything, what I feel is people try to write you out the history books, Jay. How do you feel about that? Like, what is your thoughts on that when you hear about all the rumors? Some people hear rumors and it be all kind of stories that people just make up, you know what I mean? How do you feel about your place in the history books?
Let me rewind. I'm gonna get right to that though. So, Nubia, Egypt. Nubians were super dark, right? Ruled for, really, Egypt is the baby of Nubia.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Have more pyramids there. All the gold was there, right? They warred for a long time. Eventually, Egypt conquered, right? At the end, what I'm trying to say is, yes, by the time Europeans came, they tried to change what was on the walls, change our history, who was ruling who was slaves, or who was better, or who built the pyramids, not knowing that everything came from Nubia, which is the dark-skinned black man.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So yeah, they rewrote, you know what I mean, try to rewrite and still try to rewrite our whole history. You know what I mean? So it's deep that you went there. And the whole thing of Egyptology and studying who we are, you know, we are the original man. We are the original people, period. Everything comes from us and revolves around us. With that being said, it bothers me a little bit that people try to, kind of write me out of the history books. I mean, meaning this. I'm from here, right? I just don't feel I get my true recognition.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Even being from where I'm from and abroad, meaning, say the East between the legs dunk. They do it every dunk contest.
Oh, between his legs. How about it? Charles Barkley, what do you think?
Oh, my God. That might be the best dunk I ever seen. That was awesome.
They never mention that that's the East Bay Funk J.R. Ryder.
They never mention my name. They just say the between the legs. They never mention, but Dominique Wilkins is between the legs, right? Jordan, from the free throw line. Doc from the free throw line. Jordan's leaning sideways, right? Between the legs, they've been doing that dunk since I brought it to them. You right? Different variations, better, right? But at the end of the day, it's mine.
That's
so they
the
don't want
East
to give
Bay
me. They don't
Funk.
want to. That's East Bay Funk. They don't want to give me put my name on. They don't want to give me no props. So I just feel like it's sometimes it just gives me fire. Put it like that. I don't get my emotions, but I do acknowledge it and see it. Other people tell me like, how come they don't mention you, or why they're trying to rewrite you out of the history books for that dunk especially. So even in this area, I mean. There's a lot I brought to the table that I don't get recognition for, but life goes on, baby.
In hip hop, a lot of people talk about this, like we had this movement called the hyphy movement and whatever, and it's funny because I wear the same shoes as you when I say this, where people try to write me off, like hold on. I'm just better than a lot of y'all rappers. Like I'm better. Till this day, I'll give you bars.
I'll give it to you.
Like
right.
what I'm saying, I'll out rap a lot of y'all dudes. Like you're not gonna write me out. And when you talk about it, they say you complaining or they say you crying. But do you feel like a lot of the writing out was because you weren't vocal enough about it? Because like you say, from the free throw, that's Michael Jordan. Power dunks 360, that's Dominique. Right. I feel like, do you feel like you weren't vocal enough, or do you use that? Like, how do we get Jay to be more vocal about things?
Well, this is how I look at it, man. I look at it like you can't change what's done.
Right.
Just, you know what I mean? You can't change what has happened, what has been written. They can't, my peers, you know what I mean? The people I see all the time, Shaq, Rasheed, whoever it may be, T-Mac, you know what I mean? Kobe, rest in peace to him, you know what I mean? Before he passed, people knew who I was as a player. Right, they're gonna give me my props. Right, they're gonna raise me. They're gonna acknowledge me. Right, I work with the youth. I work with kids. So anytime the kids are around, they see these stars and they see how they react to me. They know. Oh, my coach is, is one of those guys. So for the public, the basketball world in general, they know that I put in work and they know who I am. So I don't fight and try to, oversell it. You know what I mean? I just embrace it. It is what it is. I think people know, still to this day what I brought to the game, who I am. But I do say to myself, I probably should have fought for branding that dunk.
Yeah,
and truly branding it and put trademarking and put my name on it just so my name could live forever because, just this last dunk contest, I saw the one kid did from different angles.
Right, just different variations.
You know what I mean?
Of it.
And then
right.
Gordon, to me, won it. You know what I mean?
Again.
Northern California boy, Bay boy. You know what I mean? Went between the legs and still did his thing, right? But it still came back to between the legs. Right. So that dunk has lived on for 20 plus years. I think 20 years.
Yeah, you got 20 years on that dunk. So it was rumors that Hook Mitchell taught you that dunk. Any truth to that?
Hook juice.
Hook say one day we had a camp. We had Glenn Graham's camp, and Hook say, "Man, I showed JR that dunk, man. I showed Isaiah that dunk, man, and he made it better because he was taller than me, so he was able to pull it off a little bit better, man. But I showed him that dunk, man. Any truth to Hook Mitchell showing you that dunk?
Come on, Hook, man. Come on, man. Campbell Village finest, man. Come on, man. Nah, bro, that's my bro right there. I love that dude. A lot of people know he lived with me my senior year at UNLV. You know what I mean? Like, on some real stuff. When I was young, a lot of dudes from West Oakland, took a liking to me. You know what I mean? And we used to go hoop. B. Ward, Hook, Scotty Bow, you know what I mean? Different dudes. We would go hoop. And I remember that, you know what I mean? So when it spun back around, Hook came to me, man, and B. Ward, like, man, I want to change my life, man. I want to get out of Oakland. And, they kind of hinted to me, like, you want to get out of here. I'm like, come to Vegas. You know what I mean? It's my senior year. So they came and lived with me and changed their life and got up out of here. And Hook got healthy and did his thing. But that being said, when he was young, Hook never gave me no dunk, man. He never gave me no dunk, man. I got that about 14, 15 and rolled with it. You know what I mean? But
the East Bay Funk dunk. So listen, to all y'all players out there for next year, because that's y'all dunk. Y'all going to do the between the legs in the dunk contest. I want to see somebody come out in a Ryder jersey and give homage to my big brother, man. Make sure y'all do that. Speaking of something, man, you spoke on something, and it would be for me not to show love to this dude, man. You know, I'm a diehard Warriors fan, but that goes without saying. But Kobe Bryant, and the passing of, you know, the tragic event that just occurred in Kobe Bryant's life. A lot of us have never seen such a cultural icon go out in that way, especially from just this generation. What were some of your your best memories with Kobe Bryant?
For me, that hurt, man. You know, I was coaching kids in Arizona in between games. I was coaching all day. Someone came to me and said, "Hey, man, you hear about Kobe? He just died." I was like, "Man, stop playing with me."
That's what I told you. Stop playing with me.
Stop playing with me. Don't give me that energy. I don't want to hear that. And then I got a text, somebody saying the same thing, and I looked at my phone because, like I said, I was in between games, so I wasn't looking at my phone. I had about 10 to 20 texts saying the same thing. I didn't even have to pull up the site, you know what I mean, or pull up whether it was true or not. I mean, I automatically knew, you know what I mean, that it was true. I went outside, I cried for about 10 minutes, you know what I mean. It just hit me, you know what I mean. Cried, came back in, got myself together. You know, another game was gonna start soon, and did my thing. But with that being said, man, best memories with Kobe. So rest in peace to Kobe, man. You know what I mean, that hurt. That was some real stuff, man. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean, that part. I think, so he was my competitor.
I'm finna say, I know them practices was wild. Them practices was wild.
You know, he was my competitor, man. You know, so when he came in the league, it was my third year in the league. It was his first. KG was a rookie on my team, and I was all about that work. So he was a young boy trying to find his way.
What you averaged that year, like 26 that year?
No, I averaged 21.
21?
Strong 21. Strong
21.
Yeah, strong 21. So, you know, Kobe was over there with the Lakers young, trying to find his way, just, you know, young at it. And he was nice. But he wasn't, you know, I was 25. I think he was 18. You know what I mean? So, you know, for me, I was like, I'm a grown man. I'm a big boy. You know, I don't care who he's supposed to be. You know, I'm just going to go at him, right? So I didn't have a problem with Kobe his first couple years. And then they traded Eddie Jones, because I used to beat up on Eddie Jones.
Yeah, because Eddie Jones was in front of them.
Yeah, he was in front of him. I used to serve Eddie Jones. So Kobe used to be on the bench looking like a young lion, like, man, I can't wait to play this dude. Man, like, I can't wait to get in the game. They traded him. He got his turn. And Kobe, you know, got into his groove. And then a few years later, Kobe became Kobe. So then, boom, I get on the Lakers, right? The first day of practice, he said, "Jay, let's go one-on-one."
Oh, he wanted. He wanted with you first day.
Yeah, I'm talking to B. Shaw and Shaq, right? We
first day he wanted.
First day, man. First day. And mind you, Mika always said, "What's up? What's up? How you doing?" But we just went at it. We wasn't really tight like that. So I'm talking to B. Shaw and Shaq. He said, "Jay, man, let's play one-on-one." I'm like, I'm about to get in shape. You know what I mean? Give me about 2-3 weeks.
Right.
I've been jet skiing. I've been kicking it. You know, going to Bob Marley concerts and whatnot. I'm about to get in shape, and I'll be right back at you. He's like, all right. I turn around and talk to B, Shaq, doing my thing, da-da-da. 30 seconds later, he's like, well, let me know when you want to get that one-on-one. You know what I mean?
In front of them?
Yeah. The first time it was in front of them. I said, what you say? I said, come on, man. Went straight to the court, man. We get it in, you know what I mean? And he get at me, you know what I mean? He beat me, right? So we played like 3 games. We beat you 5-4, 5-3, and then it was, you know, like 5-4, whatever it is.
You ain't beat him no games?
I think I don't, not that I remember. You know what I mean? Not that I ain't put nothing on it. You know what I mean? But we was playing quick games.
Right,
so
game of 5.
Game 3, game of 5.
Right.
We was playing many of those. The bottom line was, he beat me that day, right?
Right.
And I was like, I get back at you.
Yeah, you got that one.
We'll get back at that. He was like, all right. So boom. The next day, he tell Phil, hey, Phil, I only want JR guarding me for the rest of the year. Not Devin, not Rick Fox, none of them dudes. Just have JR guard me. You mean all year. Just put him on me, period. It's like, all right. So we went at it. And when I got in shape, you know what I mean? It was times where, I'm going to just tell you some real stuff. It was times where we get at it. I'm in a long sleeve. And I feel like, oh, y'all ain't calling no fouls? I come out the long sleeve, right?
Cut up.
I come out the long sleeve, right? And B Shaw like, oh shit, town business, man. Watch this, right? Some real shit. And we get at it, man. But I salute him. He's a young warrior, man, and he took over the league, and he the Don Dada, man. Kobe was no joke, you know what I mean? So, I give him all love, all props. But that's my most memorable moment with Kobe, man.
Rest in peace to Kobe, Gigi, and everybody else on the plane, on a helicopter.
True.
It's crazy because you see these things. You see, I think Kevin Garnett a couple weeks ago, he was talking about he was on the Matt Barnes show.
Yeah.
He gave you big compliments.
Anyway, I'm playing, right? But JR is having a good game. You know, JR and Mike.
JR Ryder.
JR Ryder. Shout out to JR Ryder, right?
Easy Rider.
Hey, what JR said? What was JR response?
Like, man, I told you, chill out, man. Like, yeah, all right, young fella. But JR was like a cool big brother, man. Shout out to him, man. Him and Sam Mitchell, they were great vets for me, man. Him and Terry Porter, they was real vets. These were real G's.
Yes.
Said something about you.
I love the man. Yes, sir.
What do you feel about nowadays? How light, like even the NFL just passed, like you won't get suspended for smoking weed.
Right.
When you was coming up in the league, was it hella people smoking?
Oh, without a doubt. You know what I mean? Without a doubt. I mean, I ain't even dry snitching. It's like more like,
Niggas was blowing.
Before in the 70s, they was doing more than blowing.
They was blowing.
They was blowing.
The arrow way.
They was blowing for real. You know what I mean? The quick way. And then and they was drinking. It was alcohol in the locker rooms. You know what I mean? Beer and whatnot. You know what I mean? They had to change all of that. But the bottom line is, I educated myself with some history of NBA, and it was a whole. Like the Phoenix Suns, there was a whole team. They traded the whole team, got busted. It was a ring, it was a sting, and they got the ratting and stitching on each other. And then, but anyway, it was a lot of people doing their thing. So my thing is this: the NBA always had different rules than the baseball, and
NFL,
football, right. But they still shunned upon it. You know what I mean? Eventually, I think that came about in 2000. Before that, there was no drug testing. You know what I mean? So, I look at it now as, they're going to accept it. They embrace it. It's medicinal. It's medical. You know what I mean? A lot of people use it for real reasons other than just recreation, just want to get high. You know what I mean? But to accept it and embrace it now, it's in every state.
To be honest and just 100% transparent, if you were to be able to put a percentage to the amount of games that you played high, what would you say?
High? Actively high?
High, like smoke.
I've never been actively high in an NBA game. You know what I mean? Because my immune system, my body won't allow me to be actively high in my mind state.
Right.
I don't like to play high. I'm not a big drinker. You know what I mean? So
you never played an NBA game high?
No. What I did do.
Okay, did you smoke before any game?
You got me sweating, nigga. So what I did do, I might motherfucking smoke at, say, 5 o'clock.
Okay, game at 7:30. Game at 7:30.
I ain't high no more, man.
I ain't high no more, but I did
man.
smoke
My immune
before a
system
game.
won't allow that shit, man. You know what I mean? And I ain't sweating because I was. I was sweating because the nigga caught me off guard, some funny shit. Oh, man. But, so, it just depends, right? So, a new nigga smoking weed, you know what I mean? The nigga from the East Coast or something ain't using no thunder. Ain't using no thunder. He might still be out there high. I'm making light of it. But, nah, I mean, I did smoke. I smoke. I mean, you know what I mean? So, for me, you know what I mean? 82 games. Good for my body. Good for I only had a problem with my feet. No ankles, no knees, no nothing. I really had a problem with my feet, but after a while in the NBA, that cut and slide and jerk, you know what I mean, da-da-da, feet get a little tender. You know what I mean? You got to walk a little gingerly on tile floor, stuff like that, right? So, I use it to ease my pain. But actively high in the game, no, I would smoke maybe at 4 or 5 o'clock or in the morning, you know what I mean? And then by the time 7 o'clock, I'm very clear-eyed and I'm wide. Yeah, you know what I mean? I take a shower at the arena and worked out and sweated and, you know what I mean, ate. And, my body's not high nor my mind at that time.
Biggest competition on the court?
Mm-hmm.
If you would have to name one player. I remember I watched Michael Jordan, and he shocked the hell out of me when he said one of his biggest opponents, like, that gave him actually comp, he said was Mitch Richmond.
Mitch.
Me growing up a Warriors fan, I was like, damn, okay. You know, you see the GOAT say that you one of his toughest competitions. I'm like, oh, that's dope. Who was like one of your biggest competitions or people that you was like, tonight I'm finna go for numbers on this nigga?
Hey, one love to Mitch Richmond, bro. I love that dude. That's my big brother.
Yes,
when I was a senior, he used to pick me up in high school. I was going through grade problems, had scholarships, had McDonald's, about to go to McDonald's game, just came from the Nike camp. And I was going through grade problems. So if it would have been out then, it would have went viral, right? That, I played football, basketball came, I was ineligible. Mitch Richmond was a rookie here. He got Rookie of the Year that year, right? He was a rookie with the Warriors, read about me, and was like, man, who was this dude? Because he was talking bad about me, Oakland Tribune, Alameda Tribune, San Francisco Examiner. Came to my high school, picked me up, mentored me, big brothered me, you know what I mean?
I never knew that.
Yes, mentored me, big brothered me, rolled me around, showed me love, took me bowling, took me to eat, just putting gems in my ears, motivating me, picking me up, because I was in a downstate, you know what I mean? Picking me up, saying it's going to be all right, you know, you got to work through this. And then he was like, man, let's go to the gym and hoop. I went to the Warriors facility. Me and him playing 2-on-2 against Chris Mullen and Marshall Onis.
The first Euro step.
I got to guard Marshall Onis. I'm in high school young. He about 6'5", 220, big old Russian. You know what I mean? All he knew was one speed, one way. He don't
left-handed
care.
to
left-handed
the hole.
too. So we going at it, man, having fun. And once he seen me hoop, he was like, bruh, damn, man, you got action. You know what I mean? Like
you could be here.
You could be here, man. You need to get your shit together, man. Let's ride. Let's go. And he really was like a big brother to me. So I wound up leaving the middle high school, my senior year of high school, went to Kansas. He went to college in Kansas, and that's our connection, me and Mitch Richmond, man.
You would have
thought. That being said,
you would have thought that I knew that for saying the Jordan Richmond.
I thought that's why, right?
I swear to God, you would have thought.
I promise you.
I promise you, I didn't know that.
That's a trip.
I promise you, I didn't know that. That's
a trip.
crazy.
That's a major connection. He saved my life. He kept me going. He motivated me, and I'll forever love that dude, man. You know, we got a real connection, man. That's my dog. He's married to a woman from Oakland too, as well, with the kids and all that. So Jordan,
Mike,
man, you know who's my toughest competitor?
Mike.
Come on, man.
What's
Mike,
the most you ever went on for Mike? What you hit on Mike?
I had 29 going into the fourth on Mike.
30 piece on Mike.
So I'm going to tell you. So after that KG thing came out, right, you know what I mean? I started looking up games. Portland Trail Blazers against Chicago Bulls, 98.
Right.
So we beat them in Chicago. They beat us in Portland. I had 29 in Portland and 25 in Chicago. On Mike.
Oh my!
Oh my! And that's after the stuff KG was talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that was earlier. That was my second and third year. You know what I mean? So this is my sixth and seventh
year.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we going at it. You know what I mean? But it's points in the game though where Mike, you know, Mike is Mike. I looked at the games. I was like, ooh, he was tearing me up right there. You go for about 7 minutes each game, just eating, you know what I mean? But
right.
I was going at him, wasn't scared. Dunked on the baseline, you know what I mean? Going rough, going hard, getting mine quietly, but just getting mine. You know, I was looking back at
30 pieces of 30 feet. 30 then.
I had 29 going into the fourth. I went a little cold going into the fourth. I maybe scored I ended up maybe 31, 32.
Right.
But I had 29 at the end of the third.
A 30 piece then is like a 50 now.
It is now because we didn't get all them ISOs. We get it all the time, all these calls, and you know nowadays I love it, right? But nowadays they get the rock, and you know it's back in my day it was sets. You know what I mean? It was more sets. It wasn't give it to one dude and watch out besides AI.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, so you really had to maximize your attempts. They get more attempts now than field goal attempts than we used to.
What's your top 5 right now? And if you were able to assemble a team and you say they're going to give you a legacy team, and right now you playing for legacy, whether you got to play to be in the Hall of Fame or to dethrone someone in the Hall of Fame, however it is, whether you got to pick 5 people. Who you going to fight glory with? What's your 5? In positions.
Current or period?
All time.
Top 5. Period. All time.
So it's you and 4.
Me and 4?
It's you and 4. You got to take 4 people with you.
going Jordan. KD. Wilt or Shaq.
You got to pick one, man. Don't play the fence, man. You got to pick one, man. Wilt or Shaq? Which one is it?
I'm going Shaq.
Okay. Okay.
Shaq, KD, Jordan.
You don't got a point guard yet.
Am I going to go a big point guard or a real point guard?
Now remember, attempts. You can't go with somebody that's going to take that ball and hog it. You got to go with attempts.
I'm going Kobe. I'm putting Kobe at the point.
Okay. That's a Kobe, Jordan, Ryder, Shaq, and KD?
Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
That's who you going to war with?
Yeah, I'm putting Kobe over Magic, and I'm just running him at the point. That's what I'm riding with.
All right.
That's what I'm riding with.
All right.
I'm going big.
That's a big
I'm
spot.
going big. You know what I mean?
That's no one
Anybody
under 6'5".
that can wiggle and that's cool. We got some size. We're gonna cover that up.
You playing big. You got 6'5", 6'6", 6'6".
You got me, Jordan, Kobe on the wings. We
That's tough.
We figured out.
We figured it out.
Yeah, AI, okay, y'all slide over and help a little bit over here. You know what I mean? We work it out though.
College days.
Yeah.
You went to a college that was known for partying, known for
Definitely.
winning, known for revolutionizing actually the college basketball scene.
Yeah.
I think you got a chance to see Larry Johnson, Greg Anthony, Stacey Augmon. You got a chance to see some players that under Coach Tark, man, actually did some things that was innovative. You saw it in Michigan and those guys. The two, it made, honestly, for me, it made wanting to go to college on the to-do list.
That's good.
Watching the Rebels, watching the Wolverines. In a brief description, what was college life like? Did you have to go to school, or was it just, we know Ryder's going to be here and just play basketball, then you go into the league? Was it a pit stop? Like, what was it? What would you describe those UNLV years?
UNLV, first of all, for me, at that time, Tark embraced who we are. He loved black folks. He loved, young black athletes. And I learned who he was as a person. So UNLV was a way of life, was a movement, was a whole embodiment of him. When I'm saying, not saying the school, but of him and his program, how he ran it. I say that to say, when I went to UNLV, I would answer the phone. There was a brother calling from the pen. We had to answer it and accept the call. Talk would come running down the hall and talk to him. And that was Lloyd Daniels, Sweet Pea from New York, you know what I mean? And he took care of him. You know what I mean? Took care of his people. He went to UNLV, got caught up quick in the first 2 weeks. Went to the pen. Went back to New York, eventually went to the pen, but Tark took care of him after all these years. When Tark got a chance to go pro and coach pro with the San Antonio Spurs, that same dude, he allowed him to be on the team for 2 years. You know what I mean? Nobody rocking with him. That's who Tark was, that's who he is. People on the East Coast going through things, took care of them, looked out for them. You know what I mean? Make sure they were straight. So for me, UNLV was a movement, you know what I mean? It was a way of life, and it was about people who cared about their people, but also our people, you know what I mean? And that meant the world to me. So they recruited me out of high school, came to my house for a visit when I was a junior, and I knew I was going to UNLV early, you know what I mean? So when I ran into grade problems my senior year, the year I should have been a freshman in college is the year they won it. So I used to sit back, after all that cry, you know what I mean, upset, mad, do some workouts, whatever, knowing that should have been me. I should have been right there. I should have been on that team. So the following year, they lose to Duke. I put myself in position through my freshman year, to go back to UNLV, because I really was going to Kansas. I was messing with Mitch Richmond. I was going to go to Kansas. And then things got back right. UNLV jumped back. Well, they never left, but things got back right. I could pick and choose where I wanted to go again. Went to UNLV. So They, mean a lot to me, mean a lot to a lot of people, but I just knew that, okay, for me, that was the place I wanted to be. So I went back there, and UNLV and TARC, for me, is just more than just basketball. Put it like that. It's just more than just basketball for me. They created a foundation, a format for me and others to move forward. And, I'll forever be a running rebel. But it was a movement, man. It was like being on a pro basketball team, man. In college, man. So it's like none other like UNLV, bro.
We talk about looking out for your people.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about giving back, charity, a lot of things. To people like you and I, who have good hearts, sometimes that get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
It get taken advantage of, and then me and Uncle DB was talking about some things, you and I as well, how it becomes hard to trust people and dishonest people, man.
Mm-hmm.
How much did Oakland and just how much of town business affected the J.R. Ryder story outside of basketball? How hard was it to be Isaiah? And because it's a difference. You got Stanley, you got Mistah Fab, and I feel like your Mistah Fab is J.R.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Stanley and Isaiah, and balancing everything that you were going through. How hard was that during those Oakland and that Oakland
time? I mean, for me, I was just, I look at it as like an innocent child. You know what I mean? I went to college, did my thing, attained my goal, attained my dream to go pro. I just wanted to come home, jet ski, enjoy my family, enjoy life, buy my mama a house, and change my communities, a portion of their lives, with success and with, certain things that I did for certain people in my community. That's what all I wanted to do. So with that, coming home, it's a certain element being home, being in Oakland, being in the Bay. Not everybody is pro, not everybody's a rapper. Not everybody's successful corporate or real estate guy. People have different paths. So innocently, I'm out here, I'm doing my thing. And a person could just be himself, not try to be anything else. But this town is a real town. You know what I mean? And anything can happen. It can be beautiful for 10, 12, 11 years. And then town can get ugly on you. You know what I mean? In a heartbeat. You know what I mean? All it takes is an instant. So, it wasn't really hard to balance it. I was just doing me, having fun. I have love for this town. I got love for the Bay. You know what I mean? Forever. But I had to.
What was your instance? The changing.
For me, honestly, as you get older, as you get wisdom, as you see the world, as you get into your true profession and where you want to go in life, you start to make decisions. So I started to make decisions what was good for me, what was not good for me, what's purposeful in my life and what's not. So I started to exclude people in my life. So in that instance, for me, and realizing, okay, I want to play another 7, 8 years in the league. And in order to do that, these are the things I got to do. So in that instance, I started to, separate myself from things and from people. You know what I mean? And then the town started to expose certain people and certain things. You know what I mean? So me wanting to change for the better, and me and DB was just talking earlier how, when you're right there, right, when good things are about to happen sometime, or when change happens, or when you have internal change or spiritual change, the devil is active. The devil is active, is working. So innocently, for me, at 30, 31, I come home from hooping. I just come home, okay? Nobody picked me up. I'm 30, 31. The belly of the town started happening. The beast of the town.
You're playing for the Lakers at this time.
I play for the Lakers. I come home. I'm cooling. The town started getting active on me. You know what I mean? And, these are changes that I've already made changes 2 years prior.
Right.
You know what I mean? So whether people mad, whether people not mad, whether whatever it was, you know what I mean? I start to feel that out here. So that's the nature of it, man. And before that, being in the NBA, I had a rap for being, he be in Oakland, or if he in LA, he might ride down Crenshaw and get a haircut, or get, go to Earl's and get a dog or something, or I done had Phil Jackson tell me that even before. I heard you be on Crenshaw. Well, I go get a hot dog from Earl's or a haircut. What? I rocks with my people. Right. You know what I mean? When I'm in New York, I've been seen Biggie at the Palladium. You know what I mean? And I'm Dolo with a California hat. You know what I mean? Man, you know what I mean? Like, man, come on, let's blow one if you want, man. You know what I mean? Meaning, I rocks with my people, so I rock with my people here.
You smoked with Biggie before?
No, he went in the bathroom with he had another dude or two. They went in the bathroom, and I'm sitting there waiting. They took a long time. I got the feeling uncomfortable.
Like,
man.
like something was going on.
Yeah,
something ain't right.
I'm like, man, it's been 3-4 minutes, man. You know what I mean? You might be in
Tell Bennett's kicked in. Like, hold on, man. These niggas might be tripping.
You're doing your thing in the stall. That's cool. It don't take that long. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? I spun around, put my hat over in my pocket, looked around. I put my hat back on. I never seen him again. You know what I mean? My sister was at the bar. She lived in New York at the time. So me and my sister kicked it. But real talk though. So, all I could say is when I played, bro, it was good. I mean, it was all love, man. You know what I mean? But being a celebrity and the NBA and how people perceive it is, he's town business. He still fuck with the town, or he hang over here, he fuck with these people, or he go through there. Da, da, da. So it was looked at in a certain way by the public. You know what I mean? In
like
my professional way.
So
I wanted to decipher and say, man, I got to make decisions because I want my career and certain things to go this way. And then, when you make these decisions, sometimes, people in town, sometimes they always
people you got to cut off.
Got to cut off. They always want to be in your spot anyway. Sometimes they want to be you all the time. Maybe you know what I mean. So I just looked at it like a learning experience. But at the end of the day, I'm just a good soul, a good spirit. You know what I mean? But it's everything is wisdom and a learning experience. But it was easy for me to balance because I wasn't going out my way. You know what I mean? For me, you know what I mean? I'm just being a youngster out here. That's innocent, it's harmless, not causing a wave, not going against the grain. You know what I mean? Ain't in nobody's mix. But yeah, the town can be nasty. So it'll come back and double back. So I guess I say that to say, it was easy to balance, but once you realize you don't want a certain perception on you, and really there's a perception on you, and you try to change, certain things and certain people will follow you or don't want that change.
Right.
Or,
they want you to be
jealousy.
what they want you to know.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or want to keep, being jealous. So, I'm dancing, but I'm here. You know what I mean?
I talk about this, and it's only a few more questions, but I want to talk about my mother passed. My mother died. I went through deep depression, anxiety. Still to this day, I battle anxiety, and it comes out of nowhere sometimes. And sometimes it becomes overbearing, and it's something that we don't talk about. As black people, we, in our communities, we call it catting, or we be like, man, bro, that nigga J-Cat, blood, woo, woo. But in actuality, we really be having some mental health things going on. Yeah. When your mom passed, how did it affect you, Jay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you hear the rumors of, Jay and Rita, or, just me coming up in the streets, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, Jay just bounced out, got caught with some brick phones with chips in them, and, they was putting these in magazines and everything. You just hear all of these things, but from a mental health point of view, where was your mental health at that time?
So, I'm a real one. I know you're a real one. I'm just going to rewind like a little bit, right? Meaning, so after I played, it got funky, right? It got real funky, right? For me, you know what I mean? With some serious people, right? So I'm yinging and yanging. for a year or two. I'm a good dude. I don't want no problems. But then, you know, I can get angry too, though. And I got people that love me too, though, that ain't from here, because it was getting funky. I didn't know who was who out here. Couldn't trust nobody. You know what I mean? And there was some heavyweights involved, so I was like, you know, right, I'm a square. But I'm a man, too.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going through this. At one point, I tell my mom, "Won't you go to Texas? Move to Texas? You know what I mean? Like, you know, go back home, and you know what I mean? You know."
Just knowing what kind of individuals you're dealing with. Right.
You know what I mean? I'm putting cameras on my houses. I got them surveilling all my spots on my family. Right? She's like, "Nah," because I was gonna get active. She did that. I felt.
Because now you
know, a scared man is a dangerous man.
The dangerous
is a dangerous man.
Most definitely.
And I got a little heart. So, you know, and I'm spiritual. I'm trying to, hey, wave the right flag. I'm trying to, hey, I'm trying to,
no
but you know what I mean?
problems. Stop forcing me.
Man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So at the end of the day, she didn't want to move. So now I'm yin and yang, and I'm, you know, reading Art of War, yin and yang, and you know, I ain't cut really from that cloth, but you gotta learn quick, right? So I say that to say that's going on right when I get done hooping, full mode, and I realize the players. I realize, oh, that's a little heavier than I even thought even initially, right? I'm like, okay. My mom gets sick. I don't know she's sick, you know. She going to the hospital, I thought it was her stomach.
She
right?
keeping it away from you.
Keeping it away from her and her kids. She's writing in the journal, come to find out that we found, you know what I mean? She's keeping it away from us. She's telling us her stomach. She's going for about a month or two. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean?
Little ulcer
it was a heart. Yeah, it was a stomach.
Right.
Turned out to be, she called 911. They opened the door. She collapsed in their arms. And she was, from there, brain dead, anoxic, all the shit. You know what I mean? So, I didn't know none of this. I just talked to her the day before about my brother who was going through mental health stuff. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I'm about to take him to a facility, whatever I got to do. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I asked her, I was like, I ain't never touched my brother, but if he resists, I might have to just
put hands on him and force him to the
we
spot.
got to do this. She's like, you know, okay, you know, okay, but don't do that, and da-da-da. Bottom line, we was talking the day before. The next day, this happens. You know what I mean? My brother called me about 5 in the morning, like, man, come to the hospital, man. I'm like, what? Come to the hospital, man, Mom, oh, huh? And he was serious, smash. You know what I mean? Get to the hospital, I see that. You know what I mean? Tubes everywhere.
Break you.
Man, broke me, right? With all that, I go after all of that, you know, hour or so there, 2 hours there, I go to her house, just check out the scene. Door unlocked, you know, they had to close the garage and close the door behind them and all this. I'm mad. I'm like, man, I should have got her to the hospital. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm in my denial. Like, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, with this. How did it get that serious so quick?
Fast.
And how she brain dead and anoxic, which I don't even fully know about. I have to read up on it and educate myself. What is anoxic? What is brain dead? Well, the brain is the last, you know, organ to no oxygen going to the brain for a certain amount of time. You can never reproduce itself, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? I was going through with that. That happened. But I'm keeping all of that away from my family, my people, because I don't even want that on my people. But I'm out here, dolo or reduced from LA or Chicago around all my spots, or just securing my own spot. Like, don't come over here with that though. You know what I mean? I don't want no problems. But for real though, you know what I mean? So that was stressful. That was the most stress. I ain't never been through nothing like that in my life. So with my mom now, and I was stressed, right? So with my mom, that happens. So I'm like, what? I have the decision. Do I keep her on the machine or let her go? Huh? So, you know, I kept my mom alive. I regret it now. You know, I kept her alive. And,
on meds,
on all of that. I would massage her, twist her braids, have somebody do her hair and rub lotion on her legs, talk to her, because they say that, you know, the hearing is kind of, the hearing's kind of last.
Can't respond, but you're
go,
coherent.
you know what I mean? So I'm talking to her, you know what I mean? And yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm not knowing. I'm depressed. You know what I mean? I'm going through it, obviously, mentally.
You in denial.
I'm in denial. You know what I mean? I don't want to let her go. You know what I mean? My siblings like, you know, we should let her go. I'm like, fuck that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm dealing with that. This happens, and then eventually, yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, it got real, bro. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, like a person, you know, mentally, if they don't know they're going through depression, right? They grieving. They don't know how to grieve. They never had lost a loved one like that, right? You can go to drugs. You know, people go to many different directions. You know what I mean? So I just remember after a couple years, with this, I'm still going through it with these dudes, and my mom, and I'm just going through it like on New Year's, like, man, drink, and sprinkle some stuff on my weed. You know what I mean? I smoke. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, fuck it, man. You know what I mean? Fuck the world. So then, you know, because I'm my mama. You know what I mean? I'm hurt, bruh. Moving forward, that was a game changer, man. That changed my life, man. You know what I mean? That part changed my life. You know what I mean? So, you know, I kind of lost track of your initial question, but
no, but
you know, my mom, that was a game changer, and you know, I had to, you know, eventually seek counseling. You know, way fast forward. You know what I mean? To deal with that part, because
how deep into, like, my mom died, and like it's all transparency since we all being open. Like I developed a syrup addiction, like that was beyond belief. Like I'm talking about, like I'm trying to numb the pain. And then it's crazy because, like you say, your mom had a journal. I start seeing these text messages from like my chicks saying, "Don't tell Stan I had a stroke. I'm in and out." You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to balance this career at the same time, and so when stuff start hitting the fan, I'm like, bitch, why you ain't tell me? You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm talking about, I go into a syrup addiction that's out of this world. We bricks, sipping, and so I drove deep into the drugs, like deep into, and at the time, we ain't consider syrup drugs. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking I'm having a problem. Like, nigga, this ain't no drug. I'm just sipping. But as I'm older and I look back on it, I'm trying to numb the pain. I'm like, nigga, if I'm sleeping, I'm like this, I could deal with it. Like, you feel me? Mom's died from cancer. Then she tell me if she cold red, don't bring her back. She like, nigga, just let me die. I don't want to be no vegetable. And so I'm sitting up, mom's dying. My mom died, I have a daughter. I'm sitting up like, now I got to be a father. I don't know how to do this shit. Like, you feel me? You know, I'm, keep it real, let's keep it buck, nigga. I'm pimping at the time. So, you feel me? I'm like, all kind of shit, but it's town business. Like, if you know if you know what town business is, you know what we talking about. Yeah. But how deep into the drugs or whatever did it get for you, Jay?
Oh man, put it like from I'm, you know, I you're my dog. I don't even talk about this, man. You know what I mean? Like fully, you know what I mean? Like I really fully don't. I ain't never really, you know what I mean? I talk about it, and it's in my documentary. I don't deny nothing, just like I spoken it right now. But for me, right, after a couple years, my mom being laid up like that, you know what I mean?
You kept it on the machine a few years?
I kept, yeah. You know what I mean? And you know what? You said something that's really just, I'm all over right now. But the movie with a female boxer and she hit her head and she went in a coma. What's that movie? With Clint Eastwood,
$1 Million Baby.
Me and we watching that. You know what I mean? My few people in my family, I remember my mom was there. And the cold thing is, I can't remember if my mom was like, when that happened, she's like, I can't remember. But we spoke on this. But being in the moment where there was so much going on, I didn't really listen. You know what I mean? But I can't remember whether she said, I would never like to be like that or live. I think that's why I went with it. I think she said, no, if that happened to me, leave it up to God, because God can do anything, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, God can do anything, and God can has the power to heal, and this, that, and the other. But I don't think, I mean, being anoxic and being brain dead, that's like a whole different thing. But she spoke on that, so when that happened to her, it's like, fuck that.
I got the money.
I got the money. I mean, she, you know what I mean? It's on God. You know what I mean? God can do it. So, I, after a couple years of that, you know what I mean, man, I went back to what I felt I knew or I thought I could control, right? Oh, I smoke weed. I'm put a little coke on weed, you know what I mean? But I smoke weed. You know what I mean? And after a couple years, on New Year's, that decision of trying to numb myself that night, no Christmases, you know what I mean? No Thanksgivings, no food. You know, I ain't, you know, all that coming. I just solo. You know what I mean? I had a little kid. You know what I mean? They was the mom and the family, all my family in the South. I have no cousins out here, just me, my brothers, and my sister. So when she gone, you know what I mean? Everything shut down though. I ain't got nowhere to go like that. You know what I mean? So it started to hit, right? So yeah, I medicated one night, and that turned into an addiction, and that kept going. You know what I mean? So I kept going for a couple years, heavy. You know what I mean? Coke on the weed. You know what I mean? Coke on the weed, cabbage. You know what? Cabbage, man. So for me, and the shit was going on, what I thought was generated in the East. So I'm coming over here, Milton, me. You know what I mean? Acorns. I'm already fucked with Acorn. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, after a while, yes, me. But these are my loved ones. Nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened to me. None of them funny shit. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother thing. But I'm not proud of it. You know what I mean? I come up out of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, mentally, man, hurt, grieving, depression. You know what I mean? I was suffering depression. I didn't accept it for a decade. Truly accept it. You know what I mean? Like truly accept it. You know what I mean? So, you know, it hit real hard. I got real deep into it. So when you heard about me being a reader, just for little stuff, you know what I mean? You know, yeah, that part. You know what I mean? I was in Marin for, you know, maybe 4 different case misdemeanors. It would have been nothing to nobody, but they stretched me out and gave me almost 3 months. So 10 days for driving on suspended, 7 days for false telling the police on my brother's name, false whatever, 15 days for this, and you know whatever, right? So yeah, then I go in there, and you know immediately they put me in call it the hole. You know what I mean? I do my whole time in the hole, and you know what I mean? And then, you know, come out. You know what I mean? It's a lot going on. My mom's still, you know, still in that position. It's a lot going on. And then eventually, you know, you read it and different little stuff. So yeah, man, you know, you live and you learn, bro. You learn from your mistakes. But, you know, I definitely seen some dark days in my lifetime.
2020, Jay is top coach and great AAU basketball team, kids.
Yes, sir.
One of the top teams in the country, couple teams.
Yes, sir.
League. What's the relationship with you and the NBA? And then what's your relationship in finishing up this Isaiah Ryder story that the world wants to know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a firm believer in writing your story, keep the pen in your hand. Because anybody else will write whatever they want to write about you.
Yeah.
And like we talked about, to make everything go full circle, they'll write you off.
Yeah.
They'll write you out.
True.
So in the finishing of this chapter, and nowhere near close, but approaching half a century, 49, 50 years old.
Yes, sir.
and delivering this great book and this wonderful story that I feel like deserves a movie. I feel like Spike Lee or somebody else should come in, and because we always talk about the players that didn't make it. We talk about the players that, here we are, we're talking about a player that made it. We're talking about a player that was a dominant player, not just somebody that made it and came in the league and had a few sparks. We're talking about somebody that was an all-star. We're talking about somebody that came in and played with the best of the best.
Yes.
And gave them numbers. You know what I mean? And then it wasn't like you didn't have a decade in the game. No, we a decade in the NBA. We talking about, you know what I'm saying? Decade strong.
Yeah.
Of good years, of good times. And then whatever happens after basketball, you know, this is a story that's worth a movie to me. This is a story that's worth something like that. How is Jay? Where do you take it from here? And what's next for Jay, man?
I mean, for me, it's redemption. And I want to leave, you know, a legacy, you know, to help kids, help youth, help others, spread wisdom, you know. I work with 3rd graders all the way up to 8th graders. Talk life, talk real stuff, talk basketball. We travel. You know, recently my 7th grade team from Arizona just played at Soldier Town here in Oakland with a Nike event, top 8 teams in the United States. So I give back. I'm into giving back. My whole thing for me is, you know, if it's a tell-all, it's a movie form. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the writer for Power, you know what I mean? The brother, you know, through Matt Barnes, you know, they want to sit and talk and brainstorm about that.
I love Matt. Shout out to Matt Barnes.
Yeah, shout out to Matt Barnes, you know, and
you definitely got to get on that show with them too.
I do.
For sure.
I do.
For sure.
I do. So I just, you know, it's a story of perseverance, of success, of coming from, you know, housing authority, you know what I mean, wiggling through, making it, rising, you know, a story of realizing at your professional peak, you know, what your profession is, being a true profession, trying to catch it, right? And then life happens, right? You make decisions to better yourself, and you have to wiggle through life sometimes. Sometimes you have to navigate through life. So I just want to leave a legacy of redemption, perseverance, a person that made it, a person that went through some things, but a person can tell a story that, you know, you can come out of this on the other side. You know, when you can come out of roles, nothing has to be permanent, and you can create your own destiny as far as what's the conclusion in your life, what's the legacy you leave, what's your mark that you leave on people. So I got a story to tell. You know what I mean? You know, from addiction, you know what I mean, to conviction, to, you know what I mean, to loss, you know what I mean, to mental issues, helping my little brother, and, you know, still dealing with mental issues with that, to myself mentally going through it at a time, I think, and I had to come out of some things and realize that life still must go on. You know what I mean? And mentally, sometimes it's just a state of mind. You just have to use your emotional intelligence, like DB says, and then you can really, 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 you know, have significance and purpose in other people's lives. So for me, I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table, athletically as well as mentally, and I just think it's a fascinating story. Even Snoop was like, you know, any love. We talked about you. He sends love and respect.
I love dog. That's
you
my
know what I mean? He talked about you. We talked about, you know what I mean, man, because I'm a little reluctant here. Not reluctant, but I'm speaking, but it's the whole story is a deep story. You know what I mean? Like, you know, really, really, if I tell all. So I have to get in a real good space to where I give the world, you know, that part, even the part about the town business. So, you know, it's real out here, right? So we have to watch how we roll, what we say, and how we move. But a real story about it, there is no story like this one, man. You know what I mean? Even when it got heavy out here, you know what I mean?
I didn't even speak on it. You know, we know what it is, but it ain't.
It ain't no story.
It ain't nothing for us to talk about, man. One thing I do want to say is, bro, thank you so much, because for 20 years, this is an untold story. This is a story that hasn't even pricked the surface of being talked about. But everyone questions it. Everybody wants to know. I just recently watched the Maurice Claret story, and it was crazy because his story was like, wow, like, damn, I forgot about blood like that. Like, you know what I'm saying, how big he was.
How big he was.
It was that, you know, Ohio State football was bigger than
and what he went through, and
everything.
how they just left him for dead.
They left him for dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like that, man. And man, I love you, big brother, man. And I thank you for opening up, sharing. We almost got teary-eyed. I'm glad we moved off on it. We both almost got teary-eyed on this.
I saw you,
almost,
man.
Because it's a serious subject.
I think the sweat was my tears. I was like, boy, yeah, it was a serious subject. It's a real subject.
I can't thank you enough, man. This is another episode of Dope Air Podcast. J.R. Ryder, and like we say, we're going to call this one, I want you to trademark this one, so it ain't going to take nothing else from us. Trademark Redemption, man. And I guarantee y'all get a chance to see the Redemption song, Redemption story. And Isaiah Ryder, man. Thank you, big brother.
Thank you, brother. Blessings and love, man. I appreciate you, man. And I want to tell the world, man, I appreciate this man's movement. Tap in. I'm in Arizona. They know about you. They follow you. You know, they want you to come. They want, call him, man. We want to bring him out here, man. But with that being said, salute. You know, we brought our black movement. I know we tap on many parts of the world, you know what I mean, of history and who we are as people. And I salute you. And a lot of youngsters look up to you, what you're doing as business, what you do in the community, how you speak, how intelligent you are, and how you can come back and get on certain levels and talk to the youth, their type of talk. So I commend you for it, you know what I mean, and keep on moving and keep on grooving, man. But it's all about leaving a legacy, man. So you must do that. Redemption song.
Redemption
Rude
song,
boy.
man.
Nah,
Rude
see?
boy, you know? No, said. Respect. I love, man.